Welcome to the podcast about venture capital, where investors and founders alike can learn how VCs make decisions and reach conviction. Your host is Nick Moran, and this is The Full Ratchet.
Welcome to another special release of Investor Stories. On this installment, the experts discuss a startup that they did not invest in, why they passed, and if there was a key learning that now informs their approach. Here's the segment called Why I Passed. On today's special segment, we have Nadav Eylath of At Inc. Nadav, can you tell us a story about a portfolio company that failed and why it failed?
We luckily don't have a ton that failed, but and a failure, I think, is very relative. I mean, we have some portfolio companies that have sold too early. We didn't make a ton of money out of it, just good enough. Founders were just doing okay, but it became a very strategic and crucial product in the company that acquired them. And we have portfolio companies that have not able to see, I think they had a lot of more cash and money in the bank to keep on trying and finding the way, but they realized that what they were going after didn't make sense for them, I think, as founders, and think where they started and what they were thinking, where they thought the world will go to, didn't go to. And they end up selling as well, more of an acqui-hire, I would say. But they were responsible to decide, you know what, we'll give back the money to the investors and we still have a lot more money, but we don't think that where we thought the world is going to, or what we thought our thesis on the world is actually developing in that right direction. And we have other portfolio companies that failed for other reasons, just not having the right structure to work with, right? Venture businesses and venture type of scaling is very different than private equity. And sometimes you have investors coming in with all the good intentions, but they're not coming from the venture world and creating a problematic structure that creates a lot of operational overhead for them.
On today's special segment, we have Hershenson of Pear VC. Mar, can you tell us a story about a good or a bad pass? A story about a startup that you passed on?
Oh my gosh, we passed on Ravi. I mean, it's really painful because they had lived in Spain. I'm from Spain. We spoke Spanish. We introduced them to one of their seed investors. And we didn't do it because their valuation was really high at the time. And it kept growing every day. And we're like, oh, this founder is not serious. Obviously, we were wrong, but that's one story.
Was it mostly valuation? Was there something else?
No, it was mostly valuation. I think at the time it was like a $26 million valuation, which was 2016. It seemed really high to us.
In Bogota as well,
yes.
Right?
Yes, Colombia. We've done investments in Latin, so that wasn't it. Obviously, price matters, as you know, right? But at seed, it's where it matters the least. It matters when you're doing this growth rounds. At seed, it's not as critical.
On today's special segment, we have Ravi Viswanathan of New View Capital. Ravi, can you tell us a story about a good or a bad pass, a story about a startup that you passed on?
We're all, especially being in venture 23 years, we all weep over our anti-portfolio. I think I mentioned Square. We had an opportunity to go into Square. This is years and years ago, and really didn't go too deep just because we had concerns on the valuation. I don't remember. Not a lot of revenue. It was a big price at the time, which was very foolish to pass. So that was one. Obviously, there's many others, but that's one that sticks out in my head.
Was it primarily the valuation that caused the hesitance?
Primarily the valuation. And, I think at the time, the market, of course, hindsight's 2020, but the market selling to SMBs with their solution, there was a lot of others, more device solutions, right? This was a far more elegant solution. So there was some competitive pressure as well. When you couple that with the valuation, probably made it difficult, but that was, obviously a very regrettable pass, to say the least.
That will conclude this installment of Investor Stories. If you're enjoying the program and would like to see it continue, take a moment and leave a 5-star review in iTunes. Okay, that will wrap things up for today. Until next time, over-prepare, choose carefully, and invest confidently. Thanks for joining me.